Welcome to the Small Business Collaboration Summit, presented online by Busy.co.
Franca Ciambella, welcome to the Small Business Collaboration Summit. It's absolutely lovely to have you here.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for thinking of us.
Now, you are Managing Director of Consilium Law Corporation in Singapore, and in fact, were one of the first foreign lawyers to gain full admission to the Singapore Bar. Now, amongst your other involvements include strong support for the local Canadian business community here through your leadership roles and board roles with chambers of commerce and associations. Your legal expertise and interests are also in line with really the next generation of technologies such as fintech and blockchain, which I find really interesting. You've had an extremely accomplished career that has spanned many regions in the world, that has taken you from Canada, where you are from, to West Africa, and now based in Southeast Asia. Now, what role has collaboration played in your professional career to date?
I think collaboration is essential because in just about everything we do, there has to be various degrees of collaboration, whether it's with our clients, whether it's with other professionals. I really believe in the saying that it takes a village. And, when we do transactions, we have accountants involved, we have environmentalists involved. In the blockchain and cryptocurrency space, we have a lot of people doing compliance. We have people working on valuations, finance people. So collaboration on various levels is absolutely essential.
Now, I perceive lawyers to be risk averse. You obviously have a lot of contracts that need to be signed to establish trust. Now, is collaboration natural across the legal profession, or is this something that you've really needed to build a collaborative culture inside your firm based on your own beliefs?
Right. I think it's very firm specific. I think there are a lot of firms who just focus on the legal work and don't consider, unfortunately, some of the other elements that come into play. So I really think it's firm specific. We try to have a holistic approach. Even in our family law practice, we get counselors involved. We look at other jurisdictions. There's some lawyers who say, well, we're Singapore qualified, so we're only going to look at the Singapore piece of it. Whereas, we live in such an international world that I think it's foolhardy to do that. That if there are potential issues in other jurisdictions, then you should get lawyers from those jurisdictions involved as well. Unfortunately, we don't see as much of that as I would like to see in the legal profession.
So let's go back to trust, because it's extremely important. It's the cornerstone of your profession. So what has really been the most effective way that you've established trust in working with these complementary businesses that you talk about? How do you start those relationships and build these relationships so you can continue to work in a sustainable way with these complementary services, the accountants, the counselors, the environmentalists, etc.?
Right. I think it's a question of mutual respect. I think it's, by reaching out to them or suggesting to our clients that they involve these other professionals, you're showing them that you respect what they do. And sometimes we lawyers have a tendency to be arrogant and think, we're the end all. If you use lawyers, then everything is taken care of. And that's not true. So it's showing the professionals, one, that you respect them and you respect their role. I think that's, goes a long way in building trust, that mutual respect. And then it's also delineating in a very clear and transparent way what you think the roles will be, and saying to them, I think that, you could play a very effective role in this area, or I think the client could use this, perhaps you can talk it over with the client. So it's also coming up with roles and boundaries too. Saying this is where up until when we're going to be involved, and then you take over after that, or we think your work should end there. So it's a number of things: respect, transparency, delineating roles, Those are some things that come into play, and they help to foster a culture of trust.
You have putting your chamber hat on and your international business hat on now. Now, fear stops a lot of businesses from doing, well, stops people from doing a lot of things. It obviously stops businesses from exploring potentially other markets and other industries. Now, thinking about the businesses that in the chambers of commerce here in Singapore, from Canada, or even from West Africa moving here, from companies in ASEAN wanting to move within the region, is there a common thread for those who do manage to do it and do it successfully? Are there common characteristics that you have seen enables them to achieve that success cross-border?
Right. I think one of the first thing is knowledge. Is, you know, being able to get the information you need, the professional assistance you need, and that makes a big difference if you're going international. You know, learning about, whether it's learning about the culture, the laws, you know, the background, the market, you know, the feasibility studies. So I think knowledge is very, very powerful. You know, and part of knowledge is, you know, being prepared. Right? They go hand in hand. So you're entering a market being prepared. And so once you have that preparation, that level of knowledge, you know, the fear subsides. And, you know, it's a lot of it is fear of the unknown. So if you call out to people who can help you, if you take the time to prepare, then a lot of that fear is alleviated.
Is there a particular collaboration that you've been involved with that you're particularly proud of?
I think there's more than one. I think there's more than one, because in our law firm, you know, we have various practices. So one collaboration is with all the techies, you know, all the blockchain people who are tech savvy and who come to us with ideas, and we fill in the legal component. And, you know, there are people who help them, consultants who help, you know, some of these techies put their deals together and then come to us. And so we work in a very collaborative way, because we do all the legal work. We take their idea and then we sort of translate it into a legal structure that can work. So that's one that's worked very, very well. The second one I like to say is between our family law lawyers and the counselors. And you know, the social workers and that whole community that helps people get through, you know, family law difficulties or family difficulties. And that collaboration has been fantastic as well. And then the third one I can think of, which is really ongoing, is with the corporate secretarial people, because we represent the clients, but doing corporate secretarial work is not cost effective for our clients, so we don't do it, but it's essential that we work with the corporate secretaries. So those are examples of ones that have really worked well and that I'm proud have been ongoing and sustainable.
You talked about working with multiple businesses and collaborating with multiple businesses. That can be tricky. It takes a lot of coordination and communication. Are there any tips that you can offer to the audience on how to manage a multi-business collaboration effectively?
Right. I think it's choosing your people, choosing the people that you are going to refer your clients to, or that, you know, are going to form part of the team. And, you know, choosing people means, you know, having standards and having criteria by which you're going to choose them. So for us, it isn't just about expertise, technical expertise. It's about ethics. It's about best practices. It's about honesty and trust. So, you know, it's choosing the people that you feel comfortable with and who are going to be forming part of your team. So we have a number of, you know, team players in each of the categories I talked about, because sometimes the decision is not ours. Sometimes the client will make the final decision. So we like to give them options. So one way of doing it is by selecting several options and presenting them to the client, and the client will have the final say. That's one way of managing it. I think the other important element is good communications, making, you know, the terms and conditions and the roles that they're going to play very, very clear. And in addition to that is also the compensation. You know, be very clear about, you know, how they're going to be compensated, what it is going to be, because in that way you manage expectations, right? So those are a couple of things that we do to try and make the collaborations, you know, successful.
Have you ever had a collaboration that hasn't gone the way you wanted, or it's totally fallen over?
Oh, sure. We, you know, sometimes people are very quick to say, oh, let's work together and let's do things together. And I always say, well, okay, let's give it a try. And we have had instances where it hasn't worked for various reasons. One, the communications wasn't good. And I'm not laying the blame on the other side entirely. I think, you know, there are improvements on both sides, but there have been instances where we've said, no, you know, the ethical standards we have aren't being matched. Or, you know, I always say I need to be able to sleep at night. And so if I'm lying awake at 2 a.m. saying, oh my God, I hope this service provider hasn't done this, then it's not going to work. So we've had a few trial and errors, yes.
Thank you, Franca. That was absolutely fantastic. So many insights, especially for service-based businesses. We have a number of accountants and lawyers and a range of different service providers on Busy, and always looking to get insights from successful service providers who have really been able to collaborate across different expertise to grow their business and really make these collaborations work. So I'm very, very grateful that you're able to share those expertise and that experience in your business journey with the audience today. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I wish all of you at Busy all the best.